Want to see how animals eat their food? Watch closely. Moo!
going on? Facebook. I've got Facebook and Instagram here with me right now. Hi, I'm so excited to be here with you tonight. Legacy students, I miss you. Everybody else out in the real world that's at home, I miss you. I miss people. My kids were watching Russell and Pastor Russell and Kayla's kids video, and they saw Ethan, who they call Uncle Ed, who hangs out with them all the time, and they lost their minds. They just miss people. We miss people. We miss you. And I'm so excited to be here with you right now. My babies are watching. Hi, Emery, and hi, McCoy. I will be home soon to wrestle. Love you. But yeah, I'm excited to be with you tonight. We got a few things we're going to talk about. I wanted to do a game, but it's hard to do a game when you're just sitting here staring at me. So I did what every person is doing while on quarantine. I went on Facebook, and I'm like, what is everybody doing on Facebook? And one thing everybody's doing on Facebook is the 10 unpopular opinions. Like 10 things that I can't stand that everybody else likes. I was like, what are the things that everybody likes that I don't like? So I made a list, and I'm going to share it with you. Y'all ready for this? Don't judge me too much. We're going to start gentle. First thing is lemon. I can't stand lemon cupcakes. Like I'll drink lemonade if I'm super thirsty, but I don't like lemon. Y'all like lemon? If you're watching, you like lemon, give me like a thumbs up, a wave, something. Tell me if you like lemon. Second thing that I don't like ice. Like in my drinks, I don't like ice. Like I don't like the ice to touch me when I'm drinking because I can't stand it. We're gonna get a little bit more controversial now. I don't like popcorn. I know. Like when I left, my kids were sitting on the couch eating popcorn, pouring it into the crevices. Number 3 was I don't like popcorn. Number 4 on the list of things that I don't like, unpopular opinions that everybody else likes that I don't like, camping. I hate nature. Nature hates me. We aren't friends. I don't like camping. I don't like sleeping outside. I want to sleep in a bedroom. Pastor Johnny does not like camping. Like, we are together on this one. We like just being inside. I'm not a fan of ice cream. I'll eat it if it's there in front of me because I'm fat. But ice cream is probably on the list of things that I'm not a fan of. This one might shock you. It might come as a surprise. For those of you who are just now getting on, we are doing the unpopular opinion thing, and I'm telling you some stuff that I don't like. Mr. Pat said it's un-American to not like popcorn. I don't like it. Like, I'll eat it when I'm at a movie theater because it's in front of me, but I'm not going to ask for it. But the next thing on the list, I don't like roller coasters. I don't like going to if I go to a theme park, I don't want to go up in the air and feel like I'm going to die. Like, it's just not fun for me. I know that might shock some of you. I don't like it. I don't like country music. I don't like it. It's not entertaining to me. I don't like country music. Next on the list. All right. I don't like self-checkout. I don't work at the grocery store. I don't get paid to check out my groceries. And I don't get to talk to anybody. And as I've said once already today, I like talking to people. And how am I going to like self-checkout and do someone's job and not talk to them? Like, I can't stand self-checkout. Lauren loves it. She's like, go put them on the scanner, and walk out the door. Like, nope. I'm like, no. I want to go look someone in the face and say, how are you? How was your day? I want to annoy them. If I get a chance to slip a joke in there, a dad joke, like, I want to make someone smile. Lauren loves it. She said self-checkout is the best. So the bottom two. This one's not an I don't like. This one's an I hate. These are the last two items on the unpopular opinion list of things that I don't like. I loathe pickles. I will throw a sandwich away if it's got pickles on it. Like, I hate them. And Lauren loves them. I don't know why. They're gross. They're nasty. And then the last thing on the list, this is going to shock people if I haven't told you this before. This is like, I'm expecting the amount of people watching this video to check out right here. But I'm going to ask you to stay. The last thing, the worst, the main thing, the most controversial thing on my list of unpopular opinion. I don't like Chick-fil-A. Let me have it. Go ahead. I don't like Chick-fil-A. Their breakfast is good. I don't like their lunch. I don't like their chicken sandwiches. They're nasty. Like, I know. Lauren said that hurts. My mom said I don't like spaghetti either, but that's an honorable mention to the list. I don't like it. Hate pickles. Can't stand pickles. They're gross. They're nasty. They're disgusting. It is what it is. I broke Hope's heart. Listen, I love y'all. And listen, we can do Chick-fil-A breakfast all day long. Like, I'll give you that. We could get a chicken sandwich, a chicken biscuit. We can put some cheese and some bacon on that chicken biscuit. That's good. That's what the Lord intended for us to eat. Are you even human if you don't like Chick-fil-A? Yes, I am human, and I don't like Chick-fil-A. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Chick-fil-A chicken sandwiches are nasty, and I've never even had Popeyes. Like, I'm not comparing them. You don't get. Pastor Johnny said I don't get to go to heaven. He's on Instagram. For those of you who've got kids who don't have Facebook, tell them to get on Instagram. We're live on Instagram while we're live on Facebook. We're live on both right now. Instagram didn't get to watch the cool videos at the beginning, but they can use their parents' Facebook and watch them later. All pickles. Rena, I hate all pickles. Can't stand pickles. And if you notice, majority of my list is food because I like to eat. But moving on, those were my 10 things that I don't like. Those were the unpopular opinion. If you've been on Facebook, you've seen, hey Parker, if you've been on Facebook, you've seen people posting their unpopular opinion. I don't like to do posts like that, but I figured that'd be a fun way to start this video, was just like a break the ice type thing. It breaks my heart that they've already canceled the next season of college football. Like, they've already postponed it. It breaks my heart that they've done that. Like, I'm ready for football, and the fact that they've already canceled next season is heartbreaking. For those of you who are exiting out to go to Google, April Fools, they haven't announced that. It was a joke. Sorry if I got you. You're not here for me to play pranks on, so that was the best I got. Moving on from there, I wanted to talk to you about a couple things. Friday night, Zoom meeting, Legacy students. Zoom meeting Friday night. If you're a parent and you're watching, Zoom meeting Friday night. Everyone say it. Look at someone in the room and say Zoom meeting Friday night for all the teenagers. We're going to be doing a game, a competition. You're not going to know what it is until Friday night, but we're going to be doing it. The winner will have Krispy Kreme dropped off at their house on Saturday. Get on the Zoom Friday night. Moving on from that announcement, if you have a junior high student, junior high will be doing, I believe, Zoom on Saturday. Watch Facebook. I will post. Lauren will post. Legacy students will post. We will make sure there are multiple posts, multiple things put online. Like, I'm going to saturate it to make sure that you see something letting you know that there will be a junior high Zoom meeting on Saturday. There will be a youth one for all the youth, junior high and high school, on Friday. Miss Rena said her husband hates pickles. I love them. Can't stand pickles. They're just nasty. Like, they taste gross. Moving on from that, I wanted to talk to you tonight. I actually had purpose on getting on here tonight, not just because I wanted to wear my Broncos and my Tigers, because I miss football. Go Tigers! Like it's real. We miss sports right now. Take a moment of silence for anyways. Cameron got pranked hard this morning. His dad woke him up and said the quarantine's over. It's time to go back to school. That's great. That's hilarious. Like, if the kids were in school, I'd have done that too. That's awesome. Threw me off with that one. Man, did anybody else do any good April Fool's jokes? Like, I was at work all day long. So that, I didn't get to, like, I can't play jokes there. We play with heavy machinery. We're not allowed to joke on with that stuff. So, if you had a good joke, if someone pulled a good prank, whether they pulled it on you, you pulled it on them, type it in there. Let me see it. Cameron got dressed with backpack on and everything. Like, he had his homework ready. For those of you who missed the Zoom meeting last night, we had my boy Brooks Till on there. He is the Tennessee district missionary to the schools, like to all the schools. Like, that's what he does, is he helps get teenagers and teaches them how to minister in schools. And I want to encourage you at this time, whatever church you're involved in, wherever you go, if you don't go to church, wherever you go to church or don't go to church, whatever it is, I want to challenge you right now to increase missions giving. And here's why. Churches, a lot like businesses, rely on you. They rely on giving. They rely on the money that comes in. Churches, they're doing a lot of things. I know we're doing things. Our churches help feed families. Everybody's doing stuff, and everybody's trying to figure out where all the finances are coming from. And missionaries rely completely on what they receive from churches. So I'll tell you this, for me and Lauren, we personally have made the decision to increase our missions giving during this time as long as we can, because there are people like Brooks who pour into our teenagers, and they need our support. They need our help. It's a tough time for everybody. So if you have the ability, I want to encourage you to increase your giving in that area. We're going to watch the Super Bowl, an old Super Bowl from, that's crazy. She watched one of them old Super Bowls. Like, they barely had cameras back then. So with all that said, I want to encourage you, help take care of people during this time. If you have the ability, do it. I wanted to share with you about a story you don't hear too often from the Bible. It comes from 2 Samuel. And to set this story up, there was a man named, this isn't the story I'm sharing, this is the setup. There was a man named Uzzah, and Uzzah was the son of Abinadab. Now Abinadab had the Ark of the Covenant, the Ark of the Lord, placed in his house for 20 years. 20 years he had the Spirit of God in his living room. Like, Abinadab was in charge of it. Abinadab was over it, and his sons were there, and sorry, Insta froze, so we all froze. Abinadab had it there for 20 years. And so Uzzah had gotten very accustomed to the Spirit of the Lord just being in his house. The Spirit of the Lord was just there. And when David was moving the ark into the city of David, into Israel, the ark had very strict instructions. You are not allowed to touch it. You're not allowed to touch the ark at all. It was known. You touch the ark, death immediately. Like, those were the rules. And while they were walking the ark started to fall. Uzzah reaches out to stabilize the ark and touches it. And right there, the anger of the Lord burned against him, and he died. Uzzah had gotten so comfortable and so accustomed that he felt like in that moment he could touch something that he wasn't supposed to touch. He could do something that he wasn't supposed to do. Christians, let me tell you this. If you want God, you want to make God mad, like God loves you, his love is for you. You want to do something that God does not want you to do, touch something you're not supposed to touch. All of the Facebook theologians who are getting on and talking about how it's judgment from God, you're touching something you're not supposed to touch. You're not supposed to twist God's word to try to explain a current circumstance. You're not supposed to twist something to try to make, like, guilt people or like, don't get on Facebook and say, oh, it's God's judgment when someone's Aunt Sally is in the hospital dying. I understand what I'm saying. Christians, your job is not to touch that. Your job isn't to get on there and say, God is doing this. God did not give you that word. You saw it on somebody else's Facebook. What I'm telling you right now is don't touch it. Because God is doing something you don't understand. God's doing something I don't understand. And it's not our job to try to touch it and explain it. And so like Uzzah, don't become so comfortable with who you are in God that you feel like you could touch things that you're not meant to touch. And so as they're walking, Rena said that Super Bowl that she watched was boring. I bet. You know what Super Bowl is a good one? Go back about 5 years, watch Peyton. Watch him win. Anyways, so Uzzah touched it, and he fell over dead. And in that moment, David realized something. He did not want to bring the ark just into the city. He wanted to prepare a place for it. And so what he did is, I'm going to read it to you. So David decided to move the ark of the Lord into the city of David. Instead, he took it to the house of Obed-Edom of Gath. The ark of the Lord remained there in Obed-Edom's house for 3 months. And the Lord blessed Obed-Edom and his entire household. So, for 3 months, the Spirit of God was placed in Obed-Edom's house. How many of you are so tired of being stuck inside your house? Like, how many of you have been quarantined and you're not allowed to leave? Like, it gets worse when it rains and you can't even go in the yard. But you've been stuck in, like, if you've been quarantined and it's driving you crazy, say something in the comments. If you've been quarantined and your kids are driving you crazy, tell me about it. Pastor Johnny talked about it on Sunday, and I've never seen Lauren laugh that hard from something Pastor Johnny talked about in his message. Them babies need to get out of the house. And Lauren needs to go walk around Target, but they can't. They're quarantined. They're stuck. Just like you have been stuck in that house with no sports and nothing entertaining, and nothing fun on TV. It's just been crazy. And Obed-Edom is now quarantined, has God quarantined in his house. Imagine that. Like, imagine that. Take that thought and imagine. God is quarantined inside Obed-Edom's house because David is afraid because Uzzah touched something he wasn't supposed to touch. The church said me. That's interesting. Yep. Cameron ain't happy with it. I don't know who's on the church page, but they went out of the house. Obed-Edom had God quarantined inside of his house. And unlike Uzzah, unlike Abinadab, unlike the people who had God there for 20 years, how long have you been in church and have the Spirit of God at your fingertips and you got comfortable with it? Like, it was literally just, you go home and the fact that you have access to God didn't change anything. The fact that you have access to God at any moment became such a normal part of your life. You become comfortable and you start to touch things you aren't supposed to touch. You know God, you and God are homies. You're tight. He's your boy. So you've gotten so comfortable with God that you know, I can speak for them on Facebook. I speak for them about all these people I see. These things going on in the world, well, me and God are so tight, I could talk for them. Obed-Edom revered God. Obed-Edom, he feared God. Like, God meant so much to him that in 3 months his life was changed. In 3 months of quarantine with God, God wrecked his life. His house was blessed. His family was blessed. Everything about him was blessed because he was quarantined with God. Parents, let me ask you a question. Do you want good kids or do you want holy kids? Good kids aren't doing drugs. Good kids aren't getting pregnant. Good kids aren't cussing you out. Holy kids are keeping you awake until 2 a.m. because God is stirring something inside of their spirit and they can't help but sit up all night praying. And your bedroom's right below them and you can't stop hearing them pace. You can't stop hearing them cry out to God for their nation. Hey, you can't stop hearing them cry out for their schools. They're the ones who walk into the room and say, you shouldn't be watching that. Do you want good kids or do you want holy kids? Because when you allow God inside of your house, when you become quarantined with him, and you revere him, and you respect him, and you desire him, it's not about being good. It's not about having things correct or right. It's about letting him change your world. Obed-Edom was quarantined for 3 months and his home was blessed. He was in the ark was in Abinadab's house for 20 years. And Uzzah had become so comfortable, so relaxed. Do you remember when you first got saved? Do you remember when you first found Jesus and he changed everything? When you fell in love with him, you didn't even understand half of it. Like, you're still running around doing all the things you were doing because you didn't know you weren't supposed to stop. But when someone pointed out, you threw that stuff away because you were in love with God. And now we become comfortable. Now we become relaxed. Like, he's just part of my life now. So here's my question for you. In this time of quarantine, whether it's 10 more days, which it's not, whether it's 3 more months, which hopefully it's not, please no. However long it might be that you are in quarantine, however long it might be that you are stuck in the house, let this be a time, like everybody said, like, this is a time where you should be growing. Like, you have an opportunity to read your Bible you didn't have. You have an opportunity to pray that you didn't have. But here's the thing, that's not my challenge. Everybody else has challenged you that way. My challenge is this: be quarantined with God. Like, trap God in your house. I know that's crazy. Trap God in your house. Put that worship music on round the clock. Take opportunity to not just, grow your prayer time. Cry out to God. Watch your home be shifted and changed because you're pursuing him. Make God a priority. Fear him. Respect him. Desire him. Love him. God's love is for you. He's not this God of anger waiting to strike you down. He's a God of love waiting for you to pursue him. He says, draw near to me and I'll draw near to you. He's waiting for you. He's waiting to be locked up with you because he loves you. And everything about him is for you. If you go to, 2 Chronicles, when David finally builds the temple. And they bring the ark in. They throw a party. Now, for those of you who don't know, when all this is over, come to church that Sunday. We're going to throw a party. We're going to be wild. It's going to be fun. I don't want to work kids' church that day because the kids are going to be wild. And we're going to be over there for 17 hours because everybody's missed everybody. And come to church that day. Watch what happens. Obed-Edom was locked in the house with God for 3 months. And then the next time you see him, when they throw the party because they've taken the ark in, That man is serving and pouring himself out everywhere. He's a gatekeeper. He's on the worship team. He's an usher. He's a greeter. Like, go read it. Go read through. It's a couple of chapters, but everywhere you find him, he is pouring himself back out because he quarantined himself with God and watched God change his home, change his family, his kids. Parents, you're praying for your kids. Guess what? Obed-Edom's kids were serving too because God changed him. God changed his house. God changed everything. You're praying for your kids. Quarantine yourself with God and watch him change stuff. Like, I'm not saying have family devotion time at 7 p.m. I'm saying pursue him with everything. Like, make the sacrifices. Turn the TV off. Pursue him. Let him change everything. Let him rock your world. I've been talking for a while now, so we're gonna call it here in a minute. But I want to pray for you. I want to encourage you. I want to give you a chance to ask some questions, talk to me. For students who've missed me, what's up, Zach? Just now getting on, missed the whole thing. Go back and watch it. I love you. But I'm glad you're here. Make sure you get on that Zoom meeting Friday because it's gonna be crazy. We might have a special guest. And if I can get this special guest, it's going to be awesome. But I got excited because I saw Zach and I miss Zach. He's one of my friends, and I'm tired of being stuck in the house after I get off work because I'm essential. I love you. I'm going to pray. Jesus, I pray right now that you would touch every single person who's listening, whether they're watching right now live or they watch this 3 months from now. Whatever they're doing, whatever they're going through, I pray that they would pursue you, that they would desire to have you locked in their house with them, that they would be quarantined with you, that they would be enamored with you. They would be captured by your love. God, that we would pursue you with everything inside of us. Jesus, I pray that you would start to change lives. That when this is over, when the quarantine is done, when we get to go back to being a family who looks at each other, a body who sees one another, when we get to go back to that, God, I pray that we can see how you changed lives. We can see how you've touched people. We can see what you've done inside of every single one of us. God, I pray that you would start to rend people's mindsets of who you are. They would see who you are as love. Jesus, we thank you. We praise you. We give you glory in your name. Amen. All right. I love you guys. We've been going for 35 minutes, which my goal was 35 minutes. So if you have anything you want to ask, now's the time. If you did a prank, type it. I want to hear it. If you got something you want me to pray for real quick, I'll pray for it. If you don't, go Broncos. I mean, anything anyone want to add. Like, there's a couple of y'all here. A couple of y'all still on Instagram. I don't know who's still there. Wave at me if you're on Instagram. Facebook. I'm going to tell y'all a story. This story's gross. I'm going to tell it while I wait for someone to say something. If I finish the story and no one's talked, we're done. So I was in Subway the other day because, I needed lunch and the grocery stores are insane. So I went to Subway. And while I was at Subway, this man in front of me had a little boy who was probably about 10 years old. And he's coughing into his hand. So I'm like, all right, I'm glad this kid is covering his mouth. Then he licks it. And I was like, that's disgusting. That's gross. And after he licked it, they moved, he wasn't touching the counter, wasn't touching none of that stuff. So I was like, good, just get out of the way with your nasty little gross hand. And so he goes through, they get their food, and as he's walking away, I look up, and he touches every single one of the fountains. Every one of them. His little nasty, gross licked hand, he touches it was disgusting. I just looked at him. I said, please hand me one of those 20-ounce drinks behind the counter. And then I, went back to work. What's up, Bo? Love you, man. Miss you. All I got was gross face from Lauren. I'll take that as y'all are ready for me to stop talking. I love you guys. I miss you. Don't forget Zoom meeting Friday night. Get on there. Krispy Kreme donuts for the winner of the game. That's all I got. I love you. Remember this. I love you. God loves you. There's nothing you can do about it. Goodbye, Facebook.